If you are thinking about private label, I encourage you to watch this video because I'm going to break down things that you should really think about before starting. Welcome back to the Freeway Flippers. I am Liz. If you're new, we resell on eBay and we sell on Amazon. We've been selling private label products on Amazon for a little over 3 years. We've had a lot of success and we've had a lot of failure. In 2019, we did over $550,000 in revenue, which was about $102,000 in profit. So I hope that when you're watching this video, you know that we are credible. We've experienced private label products and selling on Amazon. And really in this video, I just want to share with you some of the things that you should really think about because private label is a completely different beast when it comes to selling on Amazon. It's not like wholesale and it's not like retail or online arbitrage. All right, the first thing before you were to dive into private label is to really understand how private label works. You are going to find an item using software. You're going to locate a supplier or a manufacturer that makes that item, and then you are going to put your brand name on it. And you usually have to buy these items in bulk. So it's not like retail arbitrage or online arbitrage where you're going out and you're buying, one or two items that you find in a store that you can then resell on Amazon for a profit. You are buying items in bulk. And with private label comes a lot of work. You are pretty much with private label starting from scratch. You are having to create your listing, do the photographs, run advertising, have a launch campaign, and really it's creating a product from start to finish. Where with the retail online arbitrage, you're buying items that are already branded and already have an audience, and you have the data to show that those items are selling. Now with that, you really have to understand the different expenses that come with private label. So not only are you having to buy those items in bulk, you're having to have that capital up front. When you find a product and you find a supplier and you want to order an item and see how it is, you always order a sample first. The sample is usually about $50. They air ship it from China. When you are satisfied with the sample and you're ready to start production, you have negotiated with your supplier the number of units you are going to purchase for that item. So let's say you purchase 500 items at $5 a piece. Well, that's $2,500. In order to start production, you're going to need 30% down right away for the supplier to start manufacturing your product. Once that product is done and ready to be shipped, you then owe the 70% for the remaining amount of the items, along with shipping costs and then any tariffs that are associated with your product. So really upfront, a lot of people don't realize how much capital is needed for private label. Like I said before, with retail arbitrage, you can go out and you can take $100 and you can turn it into $200. But with private label, you're going to need a lot more capital. So that's one thing I always tell people, make sure you have the capital to invest in private label. You're also going to need to purchase software because you can't just go to Amazon and say, ooh, that product looks good. I mean, with retail and online arbitrage, you take the ASIN of a product. So if you go to a product detail page, in the URL is a number that always starts with the letter B. It's a string of numbers and letters, and it's called the ASIN, and that's a unique identifier, so that way Amazon knows which item you're looking for in the catalog, and you get to go to the detail page, and you get to see, okay, this is the item, this is what it's selling for, this is how many sellers, and then you can use data like Keepa or Camel, which will then give you input as to how often that item's selling, what it's selling for. So really with those types of business models, you are making a quick, educated decision based on the data that's already on Amazon. So with private label, you have to then use software to find a product that is selling. And what you're really doing is you're pretty much looking at the competitors that are selling that similar product. I use the example, the meat tray. Jungle Scout is one of the softwares that we use. And what it does is it then tells you, okay, here's how many people are selling the particular meat tray that you're looking for. And from that, then you are basing your data off of other private label sellers. So maybe, the top seller has less than 100 reviews. The product is over $20. It only costs about $4 to $5 to manufacture. This is how many sales it's getting per month. So you really do need that software. That's an important investment to be able to find a good private label product. So that's another expense that you should consider. Along with, once your product is finished, there's going to be a lot of expenses. You have to do your own product photography. A lot of people probably don't have a photo studio in their home or the software that you would need to really edit the photos and make them good for putting on Amazon. So you will have to have product photography. You're going to have some sort of launch strategy. You can't just launch a product, put it on the Amazon in a platform and expect it to sell. There's a lot more that comes with a product that's brand new, that's starting off. Nobody knows the brand name. Nobody knows you as a seller. You have to then either pay money for the early reviewer program on Amazon, where it helps you get reviews and helps you get those initial reviews to then boost the algorithm, along with you have to figure out how to put it in front of buyers. Having good SEO is sometimes not enough. What a lot of people do is they'll do coupons, giveaways, they'll hire a launch service to then launch their product. And really what you're doing is you're just trying to get to page one, because that's the goal of private label. If you can get to page one, you have a product that's going to be more successful than if you don't use these strategies. But with everything, those strategies are expenses. It's something you're just going to have to plan for when you are starting a private label product. Now, know with private label, there is a risk that you will fail. You could buy those 500 items, you could pay for the product photography, it looks awesome, created a great brand name, and you used a launch service, you have a first initial reviews. That doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. Look at right behind me. These are boxes of one of our private label products. It's dead right now. And the reason is it is a product that you would buy for a concert or a sporting event. And as we know right now, they're not going on. So that was a risk that we faced when buying these particular items. And unfortunately, they were selling so good. And then all of a sudden everything happened and now they're dead. So that was just a risk that we had to take. And it's something that you really need to consider, because with private label, your product is not guaranteed to be successful. With private label right now, there are a lot of disadvantages. One of the reasons there's a disadvantage would be that there is a lot of competition out there. Yes, you need software to find a private label product. However, a lot of people are watching videos and watching how people research products, and they're all finding the same product. So like with the meat tray, that was actually one that we were going to go after, but there were so many people that also found that product that was, selling really good and would make a lot of profit. And before we knew it, after our sample was done, we looked again and rechecked the data, and there were already another page filled with sellers selling the same product. Now, with everything going on in the world with private label, it's been a lot more challenging this year for us. Yes, we've been successful. Just this past month, we hit 50,000 in revenue, which is great, but we faced a lot of challenges. And one of them is the lead time right now. Our supplier told us that they are short on workers because all the workers went to go work in the places that make masks. Everyone needs a mask right now. So those workers are no longer working where our product's being manufactured. So they're short staffed. So we went from a lead time of, 2 months to now 4 and sometimes 6 months, which is a long time to wait for your product. Your product goes out of stock in Amazon, and then that really hurts your sales, and it hurts your, what you've worked towards. It hurts the sales rank and where your item is showing up on Amazon. And then another thing, along with those long lead times, there's tariffs you have to be aware of. And then also the freight forwarders kind of control the shipping over there to get to the United States. And so a lot of the shipping times have been delayed as well, along with at the port once the product gets there. It's been taking a longer time for that product to then get shipped where we need it to go. Not only is the lead time shipping delays, Amazon also has started putting restrictions on how many units you can ship into Amazon. Right now, it's 200 for us, so it's been a struggle to send in and stay in stock. What we do is we actually have everything shipped to our residential address address, and then from there we control how many units we're shipping in to avoid the storage fees, because Amazon does have a lot of fees that go in with selling private label products, especially because you're selling in bulk. So what people are having to do now to get away from the unit restriction that Amazon has put in place is they're having to use third-party warehouses to store and then ship their items in. Us, on the other hand, we do something different. We have it all shipped to us. With that, when you're doing that, you have to think about, the supply chain. You're going from, the supplier brings it to the port, they pick it up, and then it gets to the port in LA. And from there, it either goes into Amazon, which is what we always did, but now we have it shipped to us. So it's being shipped to a residential address, which is an additional shipping charge. So yes, there's an advantage of having our products on hand, but there's also a disadvantage because it's costing us more money. Now, I didn't want to do this video to deter anyone from doing private label. I just really wanted to be honest and give the advice to you out there to then make your own decision. I know there's a lot of people that, you'll see all these ads on the internet, oh, you can make all this money, and just be realistic with the expectations. Now, I do have some advice for you if you are choosing to do private label products. I would say you really need to treat it as a business. Start an LLC, get a business bank account, make sure you're tracking everything, know your numbers. That's very important. And private label with any Amazon business model should be treated like a business. I know you can have an individual or professional seller account, and some individuals might not want to do a lot of business on Amazon. But if you're planning on doing private label products, you're going to be selling more than 40 items a month. It makes sense to do a professional seller plan. Why not create an LLC and start a business and then start on the right foot? Avoid products that you can't change. So like I said with the meat tray example, that was a product that would not have been a good one. It would have failed because there was just so many other sellers selling that same particular item. Find a product that you can make different. Make it like nothing else on Amazon, or come up with a completely different product idea. We all watch Shark Tank. There's lots of ideas out there, and there is a way to be successful making your own product. And that would be my advice. Make sure you're not just looking on Alibaba. That's like the main go-to because the website is very user-friendly. You can come in contact with the suppliers, but know that there are manufacturing places all over the world. If you're gonna do maybe textile, you would maybe look in India. There's also, manufacturers in Mexico, so you can stay in North America. There are so many options. Don't just settle on Alibaba. Make sure if you are gonna do private label, build a brand. I know there's sellers that just go out and just ramp up and have random products from different categories, different themes, and that's not how we've done it. Our most success has been building an actual brand. And why that has helped us is when we bring new items to market, our audience is already there. They already recognize our brand, and we don't have to have the expenses of like those launch services or trying to get those early reviews. We actually recently just launched 2 brand new products under the brand that we have. We did not pay for anything, and they just started selling and were already sold out, which is crazy. So it just proves that building a brand has a lot of benefits. Make sure to join Facebook groups, go on social media and follow other people that sell private label products, and you're gonna learn a lot from them. And my final advice, well, there's 2 parts of it, but one, know that this is not a way to get rich quick. You might have a product, like there's an example of, I think his name was Brock, and he sold Eclipse glasses and made a ton of money. That is very unlikely. He hit the jackpot. That is not a realistic approach to private label. Know that you're not gonna get rich quick. We've been doing this for over 3.5 years. Casey still has his W-2 job. Why? Because we see the value of him still working and being able to have the profits to reinvest in our private label business. Understand revenue and profit. It goes back to you're not going to get rich quick. Don't believe all those screenshots you see out there. Yes, I showed a screenshot. We made $50,000 in the last 30 days. That doesn't mean that's profit. I mean, I would guarantee that's probably $8,000 to $10,000 profit, to just give you a rough estimate. So know that when you're seeing stuff, there's a lot more that goes into selling just really anything, whether it's eBay, Mercari, Poshmark. Yes, you make all that revenue, but you have all the expenses. You have your cost of goods, you have, your fees and everything that goes in with, being a reseller or selling a private label product. And my last bit of advice, I know I had said two, but I have one more that I was thinking of. People ask how we started selling private label products, and we did start by buying Kevin David's FBA Ninja course. And because of that $997 investment, we made over $100,000. So it really was a good investment to us, but that was back in 2017. And I know he does a really good job at updating his course. But my advice to people, especially someone who maybe doesn't have all the funds and you want to really save your money for the expenses that go with private label, I would say don't buy a course. There's so much free information out there. Jungle Scout does a $1 million case study and they go from A to Z. They show you how to do product research, how to contact the supplier, order samples, product photography, everything. I mean, everything you need is free on YouTube. So I would say that would probably be my end advice. You don't need a course unless you are the type where you just want to dive in and you don't want to have to search for different information and do it yourself, and you want something all done for you. So hopefully you found this video useful. I am not here to deter you from doing private label in 2020. Just know the pros and cons, the advantages, the disadvantages, and really do your research before diving into it because it is a different beast. So if you're interested in either reselling on eBay or selling on Amazon, make sure to subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions about private label, leave them in the comments below. I'm pretty good about answering them. Or you can contact us on Instagram at Freeway Flippers. I'm really good about going into our DMs and answering any questions that people have. Make sure that you let us know that you watched this video so that way I don't think you're spam, because we do get a lot of spam messages just by using like hashtags and things like that. So until next time, I'll catch you on the flip.